The night my daughter called me crying because her mom had lied to her, something inside me changed. It wasn't just a travel secret. It was a fracture in the one thing Olivia relied on most: trust. I drove across town with my heart pounding, and by the time I got there, nothing would ever be the same. If you've ever watched someone you love make a huge mistake and felt helpless, hit like and subscribe. Today's story is raw, about a child, a lie, and what happens when you choose her needs over the drama. Stay with me. We'd been divorced for a while, but co-parenting had been, surprisingly, okay. Friendly texts, shared calendars, coffee when drop-offs lined up. Olivia is 12. She's brilliant, has a wicked sense of humor, and she's autistic level 2, which means routines and predictability are everything for her. When things change, it hits her differently than it would a neurotypical kid. We built safety together, morning routines, the same brand of cereal, the same goodnight ritual. We were the adults who kept the world steady for her. My ex had primary custody. I had Wednesdays and every other weekend. That schedule was mapped into Olivia's head like subway lines. Neat, dependable, and unquestioned. A few months ago, my ex messaged me and said she was burned out. She asked if Olivia could stay with me from Wednesday to Sunday so she could take a trip with friends. It sounded reasonable. Adults need breaks. Olivia was told it was a work trip. My ex's exact words when she dropped Olivia off were, "Mom has to go for work. Baby, it'll be okay." Olivia hugged her, trusted her, and left. We reassured ourselves. A couple extra days. I thought, she'll be fine. But children notice things adults think they won't. And when a child's foundation is routine, even a small lie can feel seismic. A week later, one of my ex's friends came over while Olivia was at our house. The friend mentioned the trip in passing, laughing about the beach, the cocktails, the group photos, and Olivia, who overheard, froze. Her face crumpled that way it does when she's trying to process something that doesn't fit her script. She ran upstairs and hid in her room. I remember standing in the hallway listening to the muffled crack of her sobs through the door. My chest went cold. She called me 10 minutes later, her voice small, like a paper boat in a storm. "Daddy, Mommy lied," she said. "She said it was work. She said she doesn't lie." The way the words landed, "she doesn't lie," that's the thing that haunted me. Olivia depends on consistency. The lie wasn't just about a trip. It was a question mark thrown at everything she assumed about her world. I went to get her. Driving over, I had that tight motor oil feeling in my stomach, the kind that makes your hands grip the wheel. When I opened Olivia's door, she climbed into my lap and held on like she was anchoring herself to me. Her small body trembled. She kept asking the same two questions. Did Mommy leave me? And is Mommy mad at me? Those questions cut deeper than any accusation I could throw at her mom. This wasn't about grown-up betrayal. This was a child trying to understand whether her safe place had been taken from her. We made a cocoa, sat at the kitchen table, and I did what I could. I validated the fear. "It makes sense you feel upset," I told her. "It's okay to be angry. It's okay to cry." My internal monologue ping-ponged. On one hand, keep calm. Think of Olivia's therapist. Be logical. On the other, how could someone who promised not to lie to their child do that? I felt anger, yes, but it was laced with something worse. Concern that this lie would unravel trust for Olivia in a way that would be slow and insidious. I can fix bandages, but trust, once frayed, is a different kind of repair. The kitchen smelled like cocoa and the faint perfume on Olivia's sleeve, the muted clink of spoons. She kept hugging her stuffed rabbit, rocking gently. It's a small gesture that meant the world. She needed repetition, and at that moment repetition was me telling her the same truth over and over. You're safe here. You're not alone. That night I called my ex. She's with me. She knows about the trip. Olivia's devastated. She'll be fine. You can't just keep her. She needs her routines. You told her it was work. She found out. She called me crying. Defensive. She's upset because she heard the wrong thing from a friend. She needs to go back so we can get her back on track. Olivia's not a schedule on paper. She's a person who just had the rug pulled out from under her. The call ended with her saying she would call the aide and the therapist, and later with her threatening to call police or file for custodial interference if I didn't return Olivia. The tone of our co-parenting relationship, once calm and cooperative, sharpened overnight. Olivia's school aide called my ex about her having a hard time in class. That gave my ex ammo. She pushed harder. "You're making this about drama. Send her home." My wife, yes, I have a partner now, said maybe we should avoid the headache and send Olivia back. "It's not worth the courtroom fight," she argued softly. I saw her point. I saw the legal risk. But then I looked at Olivia curled under a throw blanket, clutching her rabbit, and I thought of her repeating, "Mommy doesn't lie." The question of legality suddenly nested inside a more urgent moral question. Who is standing with Olivia when the adults pull the rug? The payoff in this story isn't a cinematic public shaming or a dramatic courtroom victory. It's quieter, but I think ultimately more satisfying. I stood my ground. I called Olivia's therapist and explained everything. We set up extra sessions to help Olivia process betrayal and rebuild trust. I contacted the school aide to coordinate strategies so Olivia wouldn't be ambushed by routine changes during the week. I documented the timeline, texts, voicemails, the friend's comment, not to weaponize them, but to have facts if mediation or court became necessary. When my ex called and threatened police action, I stayed calm. "Call if you must," I said. "But I'm not sending Olivia back until she's ready. I'll work with the therapist and the aide. I'll cooperate with anything that puts Olivia first." That firmness made a difference. People who make a lot of noise often expect others to fold. I didn't. The reality of helping Olivia, getting her to sleep without nightmares, restoring her routine step by step, required someone to be present and unshakable. That presence was my victory. A few days later, my ex showed up at mediation, not to yell, but to explain. She cried, admitted she'd lied to avoid drama with friends, and said she hadn't thought about how it would affect Olivia. It wasn't a cinematic confession. It was messy and human. I could see, in the lines on her face, that she realized she'd cost herself the most important thing, the unquestioned trust her child had. Olivia didn't forgive overnight. Trust isn't a switch. But the shift that mattered was this. Olivia chose where she felt safe. For now, that was with me. Her therapist backed our plan. More consistent routines here, gradual visits when she feels ready, honest preparation before any change. My ex agreed to that plan in writing. That's the payoff. The lie didn't just vanish, but consequences followed. The person who lied had to confront the damage, and the adults around Olivia had to put her needs over convenience. That's a form of justice that doesn't humiliate, it corrects. We learned something painful. Lies told to protect adults' comfort can hurt the smallest people the most. Olivia is healing. Her routines are being rebuilt, slowly and carefully. My ex and I aren't friends anymore, but we're working towards safer co-parenting, and that's all Olivia needs. If this story hit you, share your thoughts below. Have you had to make a hard call to protect a child? Leave your story, I read them all. If you want more real, emotional stories like this, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. Thanks for listening.